Hi guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. So you might notice if you've been watching for a while that this video is out a little bit early. Usually I post Wednesdays 5:30, but this video is out early. At the point of filming, I don't know when early, but I just know it's early. So I watched Outer Banks season 4 part 1 the day it came out, which was the 10th of October, and I finished it in a day. I had uni from 9 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. came home, as in not just home to my uni accommodation, home, and still finished it in a day. And I managed to avoid all spoilers. I think I saw one thing before starting, and it was literally as I got home. It came up because I went on TikTok out of habit. I'd literally been avoiding all day, and I was like, fuck, I can't remember what it was. It was definitely a Giara moment. I think it was the moment in episode 1 where Key says I love you and everything. Anyway, so I'm going to be going through episode by episode today with a little review, and I'm going to rank the episodes from my favourite to my least favourite so far at the end of the video. As I was watching, I was writing down notes per episode about basically how I was feeling in the moment of watching that, so I'll read those out to you guys as well. So kind of like my reaction, but not at the same time because you're not seeing the reaction. If that's something you guys would be interested in for part 2, let me know. I'll try and figure out how I do it logistically. So yeah, I'm going to go through episode by episode. I made predictions while watching the episodes and I wrote them down. So I will say those predictions in the episodes I made them. And obviously with later context, some of those predictions are maybe stamped out wrong and others are right, but I'll still say them anyway with the context of the further episodes. So even if I label a section episode 1, if you haven't seen all 5 episodes, there will still be spoilers for those episodes. Don't watch this unless you've watched all 5 episodes. Also, apologies for the spot patch. I've been majorly breaking out at the moment, and that could be due to the stress this show has caused me, waiting for it in the anticipation, I don't know. Okay, so let's just dive straight in with episode 1. So I watched the first 9 minutes when it came out the day before. So then obviously rewatching the first 9 minutes, I'd already, seen that part where JJ spent a whole lot of money. JJ, what the fuck? That was why. Seriously, why? But also, I do in some ways get it, because I think that they're trying to go into his emotional connection to that house. That is his childhood home, that is where he grew up, so it's a lot more serious for him than it is for the other Pogues. But I also think that that was super reckless and a little bit selfish as well, so what the fuck. They had to make them go broke somehow, otherwise how would we, or why would we be looking for Blackbeard's treasure? So I guess it was just a way to make them go broke again. I loved the whole montage of all of them building their house and their business. I thought it was so cute. The comment when they were making the dock, I think John B said, "It's so safe." It just reminded me of season 1 where John B's like, "Be safe" to Sarah and Key, and Pope and JJ are taking the piss out of him like, "I'll be so safe. I'll be safe for you." Yeah, I just love how happy they all are together. I thought it was so cute when Key was explaining why he's so happy to the others. He's never really had a home, so he's just super happy. That just shows that deep understanding and those long years of friendship that Kiara and JJ have had. Same with Pope and same with John B. Those 4 know each other so well, and that was just a really cute moment. And then obviously she went over and she was like, "I love you," and then they kissed, and it was really, really cute. Wish we got a little "I love you" back from JJ, but actions speak louder than words, and I think that their love languages are just different. I love the shop. I love the logistics of the shop, how everyone kind of has their own role, like Key with her little garden and Cleo with making the food. So good, I love it. That weird guy that came into the store, I said, who the fuck is that guy that came into the store? At the time, obviously, I had no context. Now, I know he's a piece of shit from what we can see so far. I still don't fully understand his motivation, even after watching the 5 episodes, other than just probably wanting the treasure, but we're still kind of learning about the Blue Crown and everything. Oh, another thing that I really picked up on was when they were arguing and then Sarah said "it's not the tomatoes' fault" comment and all that. That was so funny. But the way Pope said, I can't remember what he said specifically, but he called Cleo baby. There was not enough Pope and Cleo. There was not, in comparison to the other couples, there was not enough. I want more. But they had some really, really cute moments. And I think that is just how they are. Oh yeah, and one of my favourite parts of the first 9 minutes was Pope and Cleo reuniting with Hayward. I need more Hayward. Where's he been? Like, he's not in any of the other episodes in episode 5. Episode 5? He's not in any other of the first 5 episodes. I love Hayward. Miss him. Come back, please. But I'm very happy that we've not seen Kiara's parents, because we saw them for like a couple seconds and I was already fed up. I was like, what are y'all talking about? Oh yeah, and then we got the Rafe scene. Weird. I thought it was so weird. The way that the first time we see Rafe this season is him throwing Ward's ashes into the ocean. It's like, do we not get to see his reaction towards death at all? Like, we're seeing how it affected him like months later, but do we not get to see like his reaction to it? No? Okay, okay. Yeah, and then as we go, that leads me on to the Enduro. That whole fucking Enduro thing was so dumb. I'm sorry, it's so stupid. Like, the concept, love it. I love how we had that scene with them, all competitive dirt bike racing. Why are we betting our last bit of money with a shit bike and then falling 3 times in the race? 3 times, JJ. The jump was awesome though. The big jump. That was really, really cool. I loved that. But then he still lost. And then he had to go at John B. Oh, another thing I said, everyone needs to back off of Sarah. Because tell me why Rafe's having a go at her, saying that she potentially killed Ward. Topper and his son of a bitch wet wipe fucking girlfriend were having a go. New least favourite character, Loki. What's her name again? Fucking Ruthie? Please, please. No hate to the actress though. She did a great job. We're meant to hate her, and so she did a really great job. But character, hate you. Everyone just needs to back the fuck off of Sarah. John B's on my side. John B was like, get the hell away from her. Get the hell away from my girl. Because he's an icon. The Sarah and John B moments, like, they were quite small in episode 1, but they were so cute. I love it. I love them this season, this whole season so far. All their scenes are what I've wanted for them for the past 3 seasons. Okay? So I like that they're feeding us with so much of that this season. Obviously afterwards, JJ lost the money, which, not great. And guess who fucking won it? Topper. Topper. Of all people. Of all people, Topper. Anyway, so everyone's having a go at him, Pope especially, because Pope and Cleo even really have been like the mum and dad of the group in a way, which I always in my head used to kind of be John B and Sarah, but it makes so much more sense for that to be Pope and Cleo, and that really is the role that they've played in building the business anyway. Like, Pope is the mastermind behind it, and he is their accountant, and he was having a go at JJ and definitely was deserved. But a moment that I picked up on for my fellow Giara fans was just the way that when Key then chimed in and said like, dude, what the fuck, like, that was stupid, he was like so much less defensive in his response. Like, with everyone else he was like, well, that's just like, I did it, and like John B didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, really, you know. And then when Key said it, he was like, Key, that, you know me, this is who I am, I was gonna do it. And it was like different, and I was like, oh yeah, that was cute. Then after they'd lost some money in the Enduro, then that's when the newspaper posted the article about them finding El Dorado, which helped for me because before, I don't know if you guys, if you'd watched my previous Adamax videos, remember, but I said that I was surprised they put off the offer and chose not to do it and then went back when they lost the money. But now, knowing the context, they actually didn't get the offer until they'd already lost the money. So that's actually quite interesting. So they didn't turn down the offer initially like I thought. I keep wanting to say go to Blackbeard's house. It's not Blackbeard's house. It's Wes Jenray, who is a direct ancestor of the guy that killed Blackbeard and his wife Elizabeth. Or he could have been a direct ancestor of Blackbeard. I don't know. I haven't rewatched yet. I've had to keep myself sane somehow. I have not rewatched it yet. I definitely will before part 2 comes out. Don't worry, like, definitely will. But my whole For You page is like edits and everything, so I'm getting enough content from it. So I haven't rewatched it just yet. So if some of my information is a bit sketchy, I'll add it in the post, in the edit, the little fact. I'll be like, this was correct, or this is what actually happened. So if I'm unsure of something, I'll confirm it in the editing, so look out for the words on the screen. So yeah, either he's a direct ancestor of the guy that killed Blackbeard and Elizabeth, or he's a direct ancestor of Blackbeard. Anyway, they take up his offer, they go to his house, and the episode ends with them approaching up to the house, knocking on the door, and then the son-in-law answering the door. That house was creepy as fuck, and I loved the way that they shot it, especially with Sarah looking like behind her like, this is sketchy. It made us feel what they were feeling, which was really cool. That was the end of episode 1. So I didn't have many predictions at the end of episode 1, just because that's all we'd got so far. Like, there was nothing really to go off. The only thing that I initially thought was that the guy that came into the store that was like Yola's treasure hunting kids, I actually thought that he worked for Wes Jenray, and that he was kind of scoping them out to see if they still were into the treasure hunting thing, and maybe if he could hire them. That's kind of what I thought, but that was incorrect, or at least I think it was. Who knows, because season 5 left on a pretty big cliffhanger, so yeah. So episode 2 then opened up where we left off, with the son-in-law answering the door, and I can't for the life of me remember his character's name. I think it was Mr. Groff. Mr. Groff, I'm gonna say, but I can't remember his first name, the character, apologies. So he opens the door, and I think JJ's the first one there, and he's like, addresses JJ directly, and then lets them enter. They're all very much like, what the fuck? And the place, they walk into the room, looks unlived in. Like, it looks so abandoned. They go into the room and then they focus on this painting of a woman who we then find out that is Larissa Jenray. Is it Larissa? Who is Wes Jenray's daughter and Mr. Groff's wife. And she unfortunately died due to a curse that was put on their family because the guy killed Blackbeard and Elizabeth. And so Elizabeth has then haunted them and cursed them, and everyone in that family has then died gruesome deaths because of her. And they get visits from her, and when they first have a visitation, that means they're going to die if they don't bring her amulet that was gifted to her by Blackbeard. Immediately, everyone's like, this guy's delulu. Like, what do you mean a curse from a ghost? Please be so for real. My thoughts immediately, this is the first thing I wrote for episode 2, and I can show you guys a photo if you want the proof. I said, JJ is the grandson of the guy, so JJ is next in line for the curse, so we need to fix this. And I thought that because, first of all, the painting of the woman, like, it just made me think of JJ and Sarah, to be fair. I was like, oh. But then obviously we found out on the way to the house that Larissa Jenray drowned with her son, not with her son and daughter. Like, so the JJ Sarah sibling thing kind of a bit debunked, but could still be a thing. Who knows? I think maybe they'll be like cousins, if anything. I'm not sure. That was my first thought. And then I said, I bet that's what the bomb is, like the Giara bomb they were talking about. I bet that's what it is. If they actually kill off JJ from some ghost curse, I swear to God, you better not kill off JJ from some fucking ghost curse. Please don't. But JJ is next in line for the curse, as we found out at the end of episode 5, if the curse is real. But I have another prediction that I came up with later on, so I'll tell you guys that later on. I was kind of shocked that I predicted that, but at this point in time, I did not think that Luke wasn't JJ's dad. Like, I was still like, Luke's his dad, but Larissa was just with Luke. That was my initial thoughts. I did not have a thought in my head that Luke wasn't JJ's dad at this point in time anyway. Then they did like a Sophia and Rafe scene. I loved every single scene with Rafe and Sophia. I found their dynamic so interesting, and I'm really interested to see what they do with them in part 2. Like to see if maybe she helps him or becomes more involved, but I really like Sophia. I think she's a really good character. I didn't love her last season. I thought she was like kind of not pointless, but I was like, what is the reason for her character to be there other than to like help Rafe make a decision about his dad that he would probably have come to on his own anyway. But I really, this whole part 1 so far, love Sophia. Genuinely she's so great. I love her character, and Rafe does not deserve her, in my opinion. So obviously they have to do the dive to try and find this amulet. That's what they've been tasked to do. They're tasked to find this amulet to break the curse on Wes and his family. They're gonna dive, I think it was like 80 to 100 feet or something, and none of them have ever died before other than John B, and that was literally like, what? Not 80 to 100 feet. Not, definitely not that far. JJ was gonna go alone to dive, I think, because he was the one that was like very spontaneous. Is spontaneous the right word? I'm gonna use it for now. Spontaneously just kind of went out and was like, yeah, we'll take the deal, because they needed the 5,000 up front. So JJ is the one that did that. So I think that's why he was like, I'll do the dive, like I'm responsible for that. Key was like, I've been thinking and you need a dive buddy. You can't go on your own, so I'm gonna go with you. And JJ's like, but like, you don't know how to dive. She's like, yeah, neither do you, bro. You don't know how to dive either. What are you talking about? I was surprised that he was so okay with her going. I was kind of like, I thought there'd be more resistance there. I thought it'd be a really last minute thing that she was just like, I'm going with you, by the way, you know? But he agreed to it. But maybe I think he didn't see like the danger of it because he'd never done it before, which makes sense. And then John B, Sarah, Pope and Cleo come over, and John B and Sarah had a cute little catch you later moment. I loved that. And then it clocked in my head, oh my god, we're getting an OG4 scene, so Kiara, Pope, John B and JJ. And you guys know how much I love Cleo and Sarah, but I was so excited to have the four of them together. And they literally said in the dialogue, just like old times. John B said it as they go on the boat, just like old times. Ah, I love it. And then there was also another mention of the be safe. That's such a Pogue thing. Be safe. I'll be so safe. I'll be safe for you. And then they were driving the Snapper, which is their new boat, out into where the wreck was, or above the wreck. And my comment I made was, oh my goodness, Rudy is gorgeous. Rudy Pankow plays Pankow? Rudy Pankow, right? Rudy Pankow? I need to say it in an American accent, otherwise I can't say it. Rudy Pankow, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was obviously very taken aback by his gorgeousness. And so then they are set up, they're in their diving gear, getting ready. Key's like very obviously nervous about it, and so Pope's explaining to her how it all works, and he's explaining about the bends, which obviously he mentioned in season 1, and Key's like, okay, remind me again like what that means and if that's really bad. And so he explains that obviously the bends is when you come up too quickly after being really low down in a dive for a long time, and nitrogen gets into your blood and makes your blood like bubble and can kill you and makes you really ill. So he says that to Key, and Key's like, right, brilliant. And the way JJ's just like, dude, what the fuck, why would you say it like that? And Pope's like, well, she should know. Agreed, she should know. But the way that JJ recognizes her anxiety, like I do think Key has always been a very overthinker, like out of the group. She's always the person that thinks first. They all kind of act first. Like Pope thinks first too, but he also has some recklessness to him, whereas Key's always been a let's think first type of person. And I think that she freaks out pretty easily, and JJ recognizes that in her really, really well, and so I really like that moment. And he just like calms her down as well with the whole dive her down. That was so cute. I love that. I think one of them said like, is anyone getting nostalgia right now? I think Pope said it. So then obviously we get to the dive and they're diving around, and then they get attacked by the guy that came into the store in episode 1. That, I was like, what? What is going on? I was so lost. I couldn't tell who was who when JJ and him were like fighting each other. I couldn't tell if Key was even involved at that point. All I know is that someone got stabbed in the arm, and I was like, what? Was that JJ? What? I was very confused. But then I saw that the guy pushed JJ into like this room, like this locker almost, in the wreck, but it had like holes in it, like this big gap. But he still like couldn't get out through that gap, but he could see everything that was going on. And so then the guy goes behind Key, takes out her breathing device, I don't know what it's called, and then empties all the air from her tank. So even if she gets her breathing device back, like it's not got anything to give her. So she's like running out of air. The guy then leaves because he's obviously been stabbed in the arm with a harpoon gun. Key's then going over to try and get to JJ to get him out of the thing, and JJ's trying to break out to try and give her his secondary breathing device, because I know that as a diver you always have two in case someone's air tank runs out or like has a hole in it, I don't know. So that's why every diver will have a secondary one on them. So he's trying to get that to her so she can breathe. She's trying to get to him but she's running out of air, and so it's very stressful scene. And then obviously we've got above water, the people that were with the guy that attacked them are obviously like right near where Pope and John B are in the boat, and it, like, all round stress. It was just stress in every direction, and I was like, what is happening? Thankfully, JJ manages to break out of the door and get the thing to Key literally as she's like at her last breath. Like you can see her kind of floating back, and he kind of reaches for her and is like, breathe girl, breathe. And so then they go back up because they're both running out of air at this point, because now using double the air with only one person's amount, like in the tank or something. So they go back up. They don't do their safety stop on the way back up because they don't really have time. John B and Pope get them onto the boat and kind of race away from the other guys. Key and JJ are like acting weird, like they look like they're in immense pain, and Pope's like, oh fuck, they've got the bends because they didn't do the safety stop on the way up, so nitrogen is forming in their blood is turning all bubbly and they are dying. Like they just almost died and now they're almost dying again. What is happening? Can they have a break please? And so they take them to the hospital. On the way to the hospital, JJ obviously reveals that he found the amulet, which we didn't actually see him get, but we never usually see that. It's always that big surprise, and it really gave me that nostalgic feeling to season 1 when John B got into the Twinkie with the bar of gold from the Crane house and they were all celebrating. It was kind of like that, other than the fact that Key and JJ were literally dying in the back as it was happening. So it wasn't really much like read the room, you know, we couldn't really celebrate that much. Oh yeah, and before that it cut to a scene with Wes Jen Ray looking at, zooming in on JJ and Key when they were at that big event in the 18-month time jump, you know, at the end of season 3. He zoomed in on a picture like right at JJ, and Key was in the shot as well, but he was looking at JJ, and I was like, he's defo his granddad. I knew, called it, and I knew that at that point. Then JJ and Key obviously went into that chamber, hyperbolic chamber, basically to even out their blood, and they had to be in there for 12 hours. Wild. You would not catch me in that thing for 12 hours. I'm claustrophobic. Like, what? That's craziness. So they're in there, and there's like a cute kind of John B Key moment where she sticks a middle finger up at him just to kind of show like she's okay, and he just is like smiling, and I think it's really cute. I need more John B and Kiara partnership, please, for part 2. Please. I'm asking nicely, please. I miss their friendship so much, and I really want to see more scenes of them together. I really like how they did mix up the groups and like the duos or trios or even quartets that you saw in between episodes. I really liked how they mixed that up a little bit. I thought it was really good. We got to see a bit of everyone with everyone, which was nice. So then obviously it's the scene in the, I called it the chamber in this because I didn't know. I think it's hyperbolic tank, but I'm just gonna call it the incubation chamber because that's all I got in my head. And that scene with them was incredible. I think that it just does show that their love languages are definitely different, but they recognize that in each other, you know, because I think it's an issue in relationships, speaking from someone that's never been in one, but anyway, where love languages don't match up but the other person doesn't recognize that. So say my love language that I like to get back is I like to be told words of affirmation, and their love language is they like to have physical touch or something. And so if they aren't giving me words of affirmation and I'm not giving them physical touch, you're not fulfilling each other's like loveness, you know? And so I think that with Key and JJ, they recognize what each other likes to receive. I think JJ needs those words of affirmation, like, to believe that, and Key is so good at giving him that. And I think that for Key, I think JJ's just really good at giving acts of service, and I think he likes to receive that too, but I also think she could use some of those words of affirmation as well. I think JJ is learning that, but he also is like the king of acts of service. Like, he is on it every time. You know when I said like every video before this I wanted a protective JJ? They did definitely deliver, and I was very, very happy with that. So thank you, Outer Banks writers. I mean, thank you for everything, but especially that. Thank you. Yeah, just that scene in the chamber when they were talking to each other, and he was just like, "You almost died. I should have never let you go." Period. Low key. But like, also, he made a good point. But if I wasn't there, who would have saved you? JJ would have died on his own. Like, they had to be there together, those two specifically, to work together to get out of that situation. Thought that was brilliant. Your Honor, they need each other. Don't break them up, please. My favourite part of that scene was just when he's like, "I saved you too," and she's like, "You did," almost reassuring him in a way, like, "You did save me. Thanks so much. You did do that." And he was just like, "Thank God." That was everything. That was everything. I loved that. I really loved that. The way Rudy delivered that line was very good, and just both of them in that scene, they act together so well and bounce off each other so well. Madison is so good at giving that look of love. Like, you can just tell from her face and her eyes that Key is in love with JJ, and the way Rudy said that line was just goosebumps. It was so good. I could like feel that raw emotion. Loved it. Amazing scene. Anyway, so then Pope, Cleo, John B, Sarah go to try and take the amulet to Wes and demand more money for demand more money for it, because he offered them 50,000 to find it, but considering they were literally attacked, they deserve more money. And I completely agree. Pope, I agree with you. I love it. So they went to the house, and then Shoop was there, and they were like, "What the hell?" Turns out JJ's granddad died. I mean, where's Jen Ray? Sorry. No, I literally said on here, OMG, JJ's granddad died. I knew. It was obvious. Come on now. I said I didn't expect him to die so early. I really thought he would be a bigger part of this season, but no. Apparently not. And so I put that. Death toll, 1. At this point, we're at a death toll of 1, if we don't count the guy that was found on the beach. I don't really get that bit. I don't really get that. He was kind of irrelevant anyway. I don't know. So yeah, death toll 1 at the end of episode 2. And my predictions at the end of episode 2 were that JJ was Wes Jenray's grandson and Larissa Jenray's son. So episode 3 opens up with Shoop investigating, or like interrogating in a way, Sarah, Pope, Cleo and John B. I loved that whole scene. I take back what I said from watching the trailer. I loved the way it was shot. I think it was literally perfect, so I retract my previous statement about saying that it was a bit off. In the context of everything, it was so funny. I loved it. And the way Shoop said, "On guard" or something, and he was like, "Princess Cameron," honestly, iconic. He was an icon. And Shoop was talking to one of them, I think it was Pope, I'm not entirely sure, about Larissa Jenray. And I literally said there, Shoop more than knew her. Like, Shoop knew more about her, or was maybe closer with her than we all think, because of the way he was reacting to that, which will bring me on to a future prediction that I had. But not at this point in time. I was just like, Shoop more than knew her. I said on here, this gruff guy is obviously JJ's dad. Great casting. I think I forgot Luke's existence for more than once when watching, because I was so involved in this theory I had that JJ was Larissa Jenray's son, and in my head I was like, must mean Groff is too. Now I don't so much believe that, and I will kind of go into why later on, because that thought came a lot later on. So yeah, but I don't know why I made that comment. Like, the Luke thing hadn't happened yet. I genuinely think I just forgot Luke's existence, because honestly, as I was watching the show, I felt like I was on a different planet. I finished part 1 of season 4 and I came out of my room and I was like, what is life? Like, what is going on? Like, I've just locked myself in my room for 5 hours straight. Hi, world. You know, it was craziness, but I would do it again. Rafe is proper cray-cray. He's getting worse and worse, and I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying last video about Rafe and Anakin Skywalker having those similarities, because progressively as they did more evil shit, everything kind of like their mental state got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and that is Rafe is showing signs of that. Oh my gosh, then we're back in the hospital because obviously JJ and Key are still in this fucking incubation tank. The guy that attacked them comes in with his injured arm, like, can y'all help? My arm's injured. And the nurses are chatting shit about JJ and Key there, and I'm literally there like, can they shut the fuck up? Please. Like these idiots went diving, and now he knows where they are. So he walks past, JJ spots him, like, from in the tank, because miraculously JJ and Key swapped positions from who was laying on what side. I have no idea how that happened though. I wonder how that... Anyway, so JJ spots him outside from the little window in the tank, and he spots JJ, and he obviously knows who JJ and Key are somehow, and he recognizes him, and the guy's kind of ushered away because his arm needs treating, and JJ's like, fuck, Key, like, wake up, we need to get out of here now. And so Key's like, what? And JJ explains, and they kind of both start trying to get out and push the door and freaking out. Key once again starts genuinely freaking out. She's like, I'm freaking out, we need to get out now, like she's panicking and stuff, and JJ's like, okay, deep breath, I know, like, let me just try this thing. But like I said, the way he recognizes her and sees her like a window is what Madison Bailey said in an interview about JJ. She said she sees Kiara sees JJ like a window. She's straight through him, and I think it's the same, it's vice versa, same for JJ with Key. And I just like those little moments where we get to see they have been in an 18-month-long relationship. They know each other very, very well at this point. They knew each other before, they've been friends since like fucking forever, but there's a deeper level that comes with being in a relationship, and you learn more about the other person. So I liked those moments that are like proof they've actually been in this relationship. Oh my gosh, then the scene with John B and Sarah going to get the amulet transcribed when they're on the way there. So cute! They are literally made for each other, talking about like buying wedding rings for each other. They are so cute. They are like an old married couple. Like, everything. They play that so well. I love it. Anyway, yeah, so JJ and Key end up getting out of the tank because JJ kicks like a window open and glass goes everywhere. He gets out and he opens the door for Key. JJ's kind of distracting them, and he says something to be like, something about a file, and Key just reads his mind. She's like, he wants a file. I'm gonna go get the guy's file. So they take the guy that attacked them's file. I really should know his name. Hold on, I think I did write it down somewhere. Okay, yeah, I can't find his name anywhere. Oh well. So they do that, they get the file. Then it cuts back to them getting the amulet transcribed. And in my head, I'm like, what happened to Google Translate? Why do we always need to go to people to transcribe shit? Like, you know? Because then the guy's like, I'm not helping you, this is cursed. I don't think it's cursed. I literally said this next. Okay, so no curse, the son-in-law is the curse. And I still believe this now. I think at that moment in time, I thought that Mr. Groff, I'm going to call him that because I don't know his first name, is actually the one that killed Larissa, and then also killed the grandpa, because Larissa cheated on him with Luke. That's what my thought at the time was. Larissa cheated on him with Luke, and so that's why he killed Larissa, and then he killed the grandpa maybe for the money? Maybe? I don't know. It's not a foolproof theory, to be honest, but that was just like a thought. So it was either he's killed them because she cheated on him with JJ's dad, or killed them for the money. But that's just a theory. He could just be JJ's actual dad. Obviously, at the time I didn't know the Luke thing, so I was kind of thinking in my head because she cheated. And then we got some like Sophia kind of backstory, or Sophia focus, where she went back to her like family home, and her dad asked her to kind of sell out Rafe to Hollis, who was trying to offer him like this deal, like a real estate deal that I didn't really fully understand. Like I couldn't really wrap my head around it. The deal would screw Rafe over, and her dad was trying to convince him because that would get her some money. But at this point I said, I really hope she stays loyal to Rafe. I don't know why, but I just hope she does. And she did. She was like, I'm not doing that. And I really liked that. It made me like Sophia even more. Then we get to Pope, Cleo, JJ and Key at the dock because they'd followed the address that he'd given. Obviously he hadn't given a home address in the file, so they followed the address to this dock, and so JJ and Key go up to kind of be undercover and pretend. Key goes, let's pretend we're on a date, and JJ's like, yeah, and she's like, if you know what that looks like. They've never been on a date. In their 18-month plus long relationship, they have never been on a date. What? That was so disappointing to find out. I mean, not surprising, because they don't lead normal lives. Like, they get together and then they live together. Like, that's not normal, you know? They become boyfriend and girlfriend, all of a sudden they're living together. Like, they're figuring out the difference between friendship and relationship. I think maybe that's something to do with it. But I was just like, please just let them live at least some part of their life normally for once. I really want a proper Giara date before the end of the season. I think it'd be a really cool way to maybe end their storyline for this season. Maybe in the finale, after they've done whatever they've got to do, it'd be really cute to see them on a date. Because that would really be like a little kind of full circle for this season anyway. I'd just love to see it, because Key deserves to be taken out, JJ. Come on, like, get on this shit. Oh yeah, and then British woman comes in, and they mentioned the episode 10 name, they mentioned the Blue Crown, which we're still learning about. Still very intrigued to her and her motivations, because it's kind of still a bit unclear. But I was very excited. I was like, British, me, I'm British, what the fudge? That was kind of cool. Oh, I also love the I will if you will about the jump off and the dare, and the fact they jumped off that pier not knowing they were being chased down by the guy behind them. This is why I needed context for that behind the scenes clip. I was like, is it this, is it that? No, it was just them being little cutesy and spontaneous and like, I dare you to jump off this pier. And then they get out of the water, Pope and Cleo are like, the fuck are you doing? Mama, there's a girl behind you. Mama, a girl behind you. Then who was it that John B and Sarah went to see that told them about the Edward and Lizzie story? I think maybe Sarah was like reading a extract from a book or something about Edward Teach and Elizabeth, and I just thought this story sounds very similar to John B and Sarah, because obviously Elizabeth was saved by Edward Teach from like her captures or something. And it's almost like how John B saved Sarah from her family. I thought that was kind of like an interesting take, because Sarah does seem so involved in this arc. Like, I think the writer said in an article with, I think it was Entertainment Weekly, after the show came out, they were just addressing stuff in part 1. And all 3 showrunners mentioned how there is another bomb coming in part 2, and I think it's going to be in relation to Sarah. And I don't know what context this is for. I have no idea what context this next line is for, but I said, Topper, please kill yourself. I hate you so much, it's crazy. I stand by that. Oh, and then Rafe said to, I imagine it was Rufy and Topper then, that would make more sense, that Sophia isn't actually his girlfriend. Like, he was just using her or something, and like he'd never be with a Pogue. And Sophia heard him say that, and so I said, Rafe, you arsewipe, I hate you. You don't deserve Sophia. Sophia, please betray his ass right now. And that she did. And I was like, you eat, girl, because he doesn't deserve her. He does not deserve her, and the fact he would say that, I was rooting for them. I was like, Rafe, for once, I'm rooting for you. But I had maybe a kind of prediction that Sophia could potentially die this season. I don't know. That is not for certain. I really hope she doesn't. I really hope we get to see more of maybe her with the Pogues even. That would be fucking awesome. But I had like this thought. I don't know why I had the thought, but it just came in my head that like Sophia might die. Okay, so there was also a moment where like John B had like this like, smart ass moment, because he is the OG treasure guy, come on now, where like they were talking about the Blue Crown. They just got me thinking, John B has trauma. They all do. They all went through so much, but especially John B, and I really want them to go into it. I just really hope they go more into it, because he seems like he wants out. He seems like the one out of all of them that's over it, over the treasure hunting, over the whole thing. He's like, I just want to settle down and live. I don't want to be hunting after treasure my whole life. And they all got drunk and like this party. I can't specifically remember why they did that, but the guy that attacked Key and JJ when they were diving was scene near the area and pulled up to their like shop. John B and Sarah have this cutest scene because they were talking about buying rings for each other earlier on, and John B said to her like, I have something for you, and Sarah said, I have something for you, and they literally both made each other rings and didn't even tell each other. It was so cute. They made the rings. Oh my god, literally adorable. I'm so happy for them, and I'm so happy with where they're at. This Key like rested her head on JJ's shoulder while he was like literally wiped out drunk. I thought that was a really cute scene. I thought that was really, really cute. And then it was like Cleo and Pope being such mum and dad energy, and Cleo was like, I need to go feed the bait or something, I don't know, otherwise we're not going to sell anything. So she goes up to the shop on her own and she gets kidnapped. Y'all, kidnapped. What the fuck? Craziness. Like, thieves, kidnappers. What? Outer Banks love their kidnapping trope, but I was like, y'all picked the wrong one. Like, she is not the one. But then Terrence was there and I was like, fuck off, Terrence. What? He was looking nice. Like, what's going on? Is he gone evil again? Anyway, that's where the episode ended. And at the end of the episode, my only predictions were that Sarah would have something to do with it and Sophia might die. That was my predictions at that point. We then open up episode 4 and John B goes outside. He looks kind of like, what's going on? And it's because he knows there's going to be a good surf that day. Have we not noticed a missing Cleo? Have we not realised Cleo is not there? We get like into the point where they're all prepping their boards to go surfing and someone goes, oh, where's Cleo? You've only just noticed she's missing? But it turns out they had an excuse. I was like, guys, what the fuck? But it turns out they had an excuse because the guy had taken Cleo's phone and had been messaging Pope saying that she'd just gone off somewhere. So they didn't have any really reason to be suspicious at this point. So I was like, fair enough, I guess. I thought the surfboards were so cute. The way Key was doing that, so cute. And then it cut to Cleo tied up. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. And Terrence came down and I literally, these were my comments. This gaslighting cunt, I know he's lying. Oh, well he better actually help her. Maybe I do trust easily when watching shows. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't trust very easily in real life. So it's, oh, what? Who said that? Anyway, we had a little Giara surf day. I live. So cute. Then the Kooks stand up, including Topper, Rafe and Sophia, and obviously this was the first time that Rafe and Key had kind of interacted or seen each other in like an unsupervised setting since she stole his yacht. Like, they'd seen each other since, but I think this was like a setting where it was like, he could be a danger here, you know, like, and so she looks kind of like intimidated in a way, and JJ's like, he ain't getting anywhere near you, I guarantee that. JJ, you protective little cutie patootie. I loved that line. I was like, that's amazing. Then Topper and John B have a little face off. Like a little face off like they do every season. Topper was saying way too much bullshit. Like, Sarah is never going back to you, babe. I don't know why she ever did. You know, I don't know why she ever did, but hey, Sarah, like, you made some mistakes. But we love our girl and she's made up for that. In my head, I don't know if I could ever forgive cheating, but it's a TV show and John B's a better person than me. So then it cut back to Cleo and the guy in the house, and I was like, not in our fucking house, but Loki, can we get a house tour? Like, why haven't we been given a full-blown house tour? Like, I feel like that's vital. They're living together. We need to see what all of their different rooms are like, you know? We need a house tour. Are the couples staying in rooms together, or do they all have their own room? Like, what is the vibe here? Because it would totally change the way that we as viewers perceive, especially Cleo and Pope and JJ and Key, with their relationship, if they're literally sharing a room. My main source of light right now is my laptop. I've had to put it on light mode. Usually I have an automatic, so it goes dark when it gets dark, it's light when it's light. But I've had to turn it onto light mode because it's dark outside. What, do these make a difference? Yeah, okay, we'll keep those on. I thought Pope was gonna come back in the moment when Cleo was being strangled. I was like, Pope, hurry the fuck up, get there, please. But then Terrence saved her, and I was like, okay, I love it. Trust him a bit more now, but he was still like, she'll tell you where it is, like, you can't kill her. Then we met up with our history teacher bestie, Pope did, and I thought I loved that. And I said, I recognize this Pope fit. Isn't this when he crashes a bike or something? Yes. Future me is that, yes, he does crash the bike. And then I don't know what scene this was in reference to, but I said, this son-in-law is evil. He's bad. He's bad vibes. Bad vibes. I agree with me 2 days ago. I agree. Oh, I also said Cleo's profile picture on Pope's phone is so cute, because obviously Cleo called him, and it's not really what I should be focusing on at the moment, but I just thought it was really cute. Yeah, Pope's called, you have until 4 or we're gonna kill your girlfriend. Oh shit, let me get on the fucking way. Then they've done like their little surfing thing, and JJ cut off Topper for a wave or something, and that's deep to someone somewhere, I'm sure. Sorry, I've never surfed. I just don't think it warranted the next thing that happened. Then there was a turtle hatch. And like we know from context from season 1 and everything, Key and her turtles do not, like, Key loves those fucking turtles so much. And the fact that she saw a turtle hatch with her best friends and her boyfriend, I was like, this is going to be the most beautiful healing scene for Key after what she went through with like Sarah and everything, and even just the kook year. We don't know much about it, but you know, I was like, this is gonna be so cute. Then Ruthie had to fucking exist. Ruthie gets in the car with Topper, drives full speed at Key, JJ, John B and Sarah, but also these baby turtles that have just been hatched and are going into the water. They almost run Key over, like fully she had to dive like her whole half the length of her body out of the way. Like it was a crazy dive, like she saved herself there. But JJ runs over and is like, are you okay? I made a comment here, why does Rafe look mad? Like Rafe kind of looked a bit like mad. I don't know why, but that was just something I picked up on. I think maybe because he still cares for Sarah, like he does, let's be real now. They then turn around again. At this point, no turtles had been harmed. Ruthie then turns around again, full speed drives at Key once again, throws a drink at Key out of the window, and kills one of the turtles. Saddest death of Outer Banks so far. Loki, the turtle, takes first place. Ward close second, which is crazy. Ward being close second is crazy. Oh wait, Peterkin. Peterkin was sad. When Peterkin died, that was sad. I was so mad. Ruthie, new enemy number 1, seriously. And it kind of made me think, like, if that's what they did just then, imagine what Key's kook year was like. No wonder she was miserable. They probably treat her like that all the time. And that's fucking sucks. And like, I really want to go more into it, to be honest, because we need more background on her with that, because I think that really shaped her as who she is as a person. So then Key picks up the dead turtle, walks over to them. I'm like, yes, eat them up. Eat them up, I know you're going to. And she does. She eats them up, and they have like, Ruthie had like a smart ass answer back that was like, well, it's the cycle of life, why don't you just go throw it to the seagulls? And Key's like, being hit by a car is not the cycle of life. What? And so then like Key like pushes Ruthie, and Topper then grabs Key, and JJ grabs Topper. Like, really sad scene, but that was, I love a protective guy, guys, we know this. And he said to Topper and Ruthie, touch her or any of us again and I'll come back and kill all of you. Check my TikTok for my reaction to that. But someone filmed him saying that, and he, like, that was like a death threat, and so they sent that to the police as expected. But anyway, we cut back to Cleo and Pope. Pope gets there, and Pope and Terrence kind of fight this guy. Terrence does end up getting shot, and he does die. That makes the death toll 2, but if you include the turtle, the death toll is 3, and I'm gonna include the turtle. So currently a death toll of 3. And then it looks really fucking bad because we have a dead body on our floor, and Shoops just turned up to speak to JJ because he just like threatened a whole group of people with like murdering them. So fuck, and that's where episode 4 ends. Wow, it's hard to talk for this long, my goodness, but for you guys, anything for y'all. End of episode 4, my predictions hadn't really changed much, but I really loved that episode. And yeah, then we start off episode 5 with Shoop was at the house and they were all trying to hide Terrence's body after Cleo was literally traumatized by seeing her only kind of fatherly figure in her life be shot saving her. Oh, and to make things even better, the guy ended up getting the amulet. So now they don't have the amulet either. But they did transcribe it and they know that it's something about it is in Charleston. So they need to go to Charleston. So I said Shoop's either here for the death threat, JJ said to the Kooks, or the fact that he's Wes Jenray's grandson. And then we found out it was because of the death threat. And then I was like, yay, I get to hear the line again because they played the clip. And JJ ate Shoop up, honestly. But it did end up being about both things. Shoop did then bring up where were they the day that Wes died. And Shoop just has this connection to Larissa. And then they did like a Rafe scene with like a Rafe and Sarah kind of flashback or thing of Rafe regretting what he'd done to Sarah, and I was kind of like, you're past that point. Like, you're past that point. Like, you can regret all you want, but you're past the point of her wanting to be your sister again. You literally tried to kill her. And there was another Rafe and Sophia scene where Rafe was like, you know, obviously he'd signed the deal at this point. We'd seen him sign the deal with Hollis because Sophia had convinced him to do so. And he was like, I'm going to buy us a house here and we can maybe like live together, it'd be really great. And so there in my head I'm like, okay, Rafe, do you love her or not? Do you love Sophia or not? Because I genuinely can't tell. Like, it drives me crazy because I can't understand Rafe. Like, seriously, I don't get him. Oh yeah, this isn't the scene when Rafe says that to her. This is the scene when he signs the deal. Sorry, I got confused. But yeah, because he shut down Hollis's advancements to her. So I was like, Rafe? Like, so you do love Sophia, or like, I don't know. He confuses me, man. 5 of the 6 Pogues go to dispose of Terrence's body. JJ stays behind to like get the Twinkie set up because they were like, we're gonna go Charleston. And then I can't remember what the character's name was, but he worked at the Jenray's like estate. He came up to JJ and handed him a letter, and it was like to Master J Maybank or something. I was like, Master? Oh, Master? Okay, I think I'd know. I knew it. He's related to them, isn't he? And turns out that that's the letter was about go find your dad, which was Luke, you know. And I loved how he was like, oh, freaking cursive. I was like, where's Key? You need Key and she'll read it for you. But anyway, and JJ just leaves a letter at least, but he just leaves. And I'm like, because at that time we had no context of what the letter was, so I was like, where are we what is going on? So confused. Then there was the Rafe and Sophia scene, which I was talking about before, which actually happened here. And I was like, Rafe, now you're all sorry about the turtle thing, now that your freaking little mates aren't around. Like, dude, what? Act like you like her to other people. But that's just because Rafe is a dick. I don't think it would ever be the writer's intention to make Rafe a good guy, because he's never gonna be. You know, he can be on the Pogue side. I mean, we already know in part 2 he's going to be with the Pogues and he can maybe help them out, but he's never going to be a good guy. I don't know, maybe they'll find a way to give him some crazy redemption. We'll have to find out. I'm not sure, but he's going to be with the Pogues in part 2 and I'm very, very, very excited to see that and see the context of that and see what he's gaining from that situation. And just how that dynamic plays out. So then they go back and then they find out JJ has left and JJ said, go to Charleston, I'll meet up with you. And so Cleo, Pope, Sarah and John B go to Charleston. Kiara says, I'll stay behind and wait for JJ because it's really ominous. Like, why has he just left? I think she was kind of worried about him. So she waited behind. And in my head, I'm like, why have we left Key there alone after Cleo was literally kidnapped from the very same spot? I just had a bad feeling. I was like, what's gonna happen? And I was like, why is JJ looking for his dad? Are we gonna get context? Because JJ turned up to Barracuda Mike's house looking for his dad. I was like, why? So I skipped back to read the letter, like paused and try and read it, but I couldn't make it out. We do get context later on, but at that time I was so confused. I was like, why are we all of a sudden just looking for dad? Why are we looking for Luke? And we see them on like a ferry boat on the way to Charleston, and there's a Sarah John B scene. Basically John B voices the fact that he wants to kind of settle down after this and build a house just for them two, not live in like the big group house anymore, and kind of do that. And he said start a family, and Sarah was like, dude, slow your roll, slow down now. Like, I'm 19. I'm like, oh my god, they're 19. We know now, because I didn't know for sure what age they were. I was like, oh my god, same age, I'm 19. Look at us go. Y'all doing so much more of your life than I am. Yeah, and then Luke is there. He's on the island, and I was like, it's not good to see you. What the fuck? And I was like, why is he acting nice and communicative? Because usually he's just throwing hands. So JJ helps Luke get away from the police because JJ needs to know more about this letter. Oh my, Rafe turns up to the shop. Rafe turns up to the shop with only Key there. There's no one else there. It's only Key. And I'm just like, fuck. This is the worst person to just be there alone after she literally stole his boat. I was kind of excited though, because I do love the Rafe and Kiara dynamic, because I do think that there is a difference. I'm not a Riara shipper. Apologies, never will be. They don't make sense in a romantic relationship, but there is this weird, almost, not soft spot, but like he's different with her than he is with the other Pogues, and like I'd love to know why. I'd love to know why. Like, I want to know the context of that and why he feels that way. Like he literally pulled a knife out. She was like scared, and I was like, valid. Like, and then he said that he's not her enemy and that he's on her side. And as she said, capital letters, why? Rafe makes no sense to me. I never understand him. It's driving me crazy. Literally, I don't get him. I don't understand him as a character at all. But it was a really, really great scene. And that, I think there was a line where he was like, you know, you really screwed me over. And she was like, did I? Oh, ate him up and down, Kiara. That was amazing. Then we go to the guys in Charleston, and we get a little bit of John B's kind of graveyard trauma. And I just said, like, I think Sarah has this connection because there's a lot of cuts of her getting distracted or being really intrigued. And I love the Sarah Pope duo. I love that we got that. That's so exciting. And the rats, oh my god, the fucking rats. And then Pope's fall, that edit of Pope falling, I was almost cackling. I was like, wait, what? That was crazy. I said, someone please get Sarah out of there because she's freaking out, and I completely get it, would be me. And I also said, I don't know where this thought came from, but I was like, I really need a season 5 and 6 for Cleo and Kiara's seasons. I love that we're getting JJ's season. I love we had John B and we had Pope. People say that season 3 was for Sarah. I think they maybe could have done more with her if that was the case, but not everyone can be related to someone with the treasure, you know? Like, that's not going to happen for everyone. That wouldn't make sense. That would be really far-fetched if every character had a relation to this treasure. I do see how it was her season, but maybe they could have done a bit more, but I really want a Key and focus season and a Cleo focus season. That would be freaking awesome. So they find a scroll, and I kind of remembered, wait, I think there was like a behind-the-scenes video of JJ with a scroll running down a street or something. I can't remember, but that could have been, that was probably the baseball bat actually, because you know, he in the trailer he smashes that thing. Yeah, that was probably the baseball bat, not a scroll. But that was my thought at the time, but I just remembered that. And then they attack Cleo. He attacks Cleo again, strangles her again, and then these like bypasses, like, someone help her, someone help her, oh my god. Love them for that, thank you. So then John B kind of chases after them, and John B gets a gun and he points a gun at them, and I literally am like, no, John B, you can't kill them. Like, you can't kill people because, like, this isn't what we do. Like, he has trauma, especially like it flashed back to his dad killing people in front of him. I'm like, that's not who you are. Like, that's the opposite of who you are. You're not your dad. And I think that's what he's scared of becoming. He doesn't want to become his dad, obsessed with treasure and driven only by greed, you know? I said, oh, they're gonna leave us on a cliffhanger of Sarah and Pope almost drowning, aren't they? And they did. Hope they make it out. Fingers crossed. Hoping, praying for you guys. I mean, we know they're going to. We literally saw in the teaser clips of them alive and well, so it's all good. Yeah, then we go back to JJ and they're on the lighthouse. It's JJ and Luke are on the lighthouse, and I'm like, what the fuck is Albatross? Please explain. And then Luke reveals that he is not JJ's blood father. He's not his dad. Not related to him by blood, not his dad. And so I'm like, it's like an opposite Darth Vader moment. And I was like, I knew it. I knew that that was the case, but I'm like, why would Luke help out Larissa by taking in her kid? You know, was Larissa Luke's sister? Why would Luke look after him if he had no romantic thing to do with her? Because he's like saying that Larissa's such a great person. Why? What does she do? Who is she? Please give us some context on her. I want to know about her. Then they ended the episode and I was like, don't end the episode now. And then they did. For fuck's sake. Of course they were going to leave on a cliffhanger, of course. I'm sorry if that was like a really rushed and confusing. It was confusing for me to even read through, I'll be honest. So sorry if that was confusing for you guys to listen to. So my predictions and rankings of the episodes. So my predictions after all 5 episodes, one of them is that potentially Shoop is JJ's dad, which would be fucking crazy if that was the case, just because of Shoop and JJ's dynamic up until now. That's like a thought. But also it could just be this gruff guy that he is JJ's dad, but then he's evil, because we saw at the end him with Hollis and they would have like an evil stare off into the distance. And he's just constantly giving off bad vibes. So what is happening, what is going on, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of all I have in terms of prediction. I'm kind of lost. I know that JJ is probably going to go a bit off the rails and that's going to affect Giara, definitely. Please don't break them up. Pretty please. Pretty please don't break them up. Episode rankings. So my least favourite episode of part 1 was episode 1. Just because I loved the first bit, but I just thought the concept of how they became broke again, it was so obvious. It's just like, because they need to be broke again. They could have so easily not been. It's fine, I know we had to do it. Then after that, in 4th place, I had episode 5. I really liked episode 5. I loved the Sarah and Pope stuff, especially. I think that was my favourite part of episode 5. And I loved the cliffhanger and all of that. But in terms of, in comparison to other episodes, I just preferred some of the other episodes because of like the dynamic we got between everyone. It was really nice. Then in 3rd place was episode 3. I loved so much of episode 3. We had some really cute moments, especially for John B and Sarah. So I really liked that episode. In 2nd place was episode 4, purely because like that baby turtle scene was so great and so impactful. And then everything with Cleo as well and Terrence. I thought it was just a really good episode. And 1st place, best episode of season 4 of Outer Banks so far is episode 2. I loved that episode. I loved the dive scene. I loved the chamber scene. It was every Giara person's dream. And just everyone else as well. It was just really, really great and was my favourite episode and is the one that I can't stop thinking about and will probably be most excited to rewatch. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Sorry it got so dark and so the lighting's gone a bit weird, but I really wanted to do it. I want to put up early because then when you guys have to wait till Wednesday. We are literally 2 people away from 300 subscribers at the point of filming this, which is crazy. I can't believe we've gone up that many subscribers in such a short amount of time. I know so many of you are here from the Outer Banks videos and I love to be posting these and talking about the show because I love it so much, and I'd love to do with other shows too. So if you guys have any recommendations of other TV shows or even movies you want me to kind of talk about and say my opinions on, I'd love to do that. Yeah, in terms of the future of this channel with Outer Banks, it's probably going to go dark on the Outer Banks stuff until part 2's out. I'll totally be down to do another theory video. If anyone else has other theories for part 2, would so do that. Let me know if you want it. I've loved doing all this Outer Banks stuff, but this is not an Outer Banks channel. But I will always take into account what you guys want, and like I said, I love to talk about it. So definitely will be going back into that around like 1st week of November, because that's when we're leading up to part 2 and I'm so excited. Between now and then it's probably not going to be so much Outer Banks stuff, and I hope that that's okay. I know that so many of you guys are here for that, so I hope that's okay. Please always put in the comments what videos you'd want to see, because I'm always down for new ideas because I run out of ideas so quick. That would be amazing, and I hope you guys have all really enjoyed this video and my other Outer Banks videos. If you haven't seen them, they're probably all linked anyway. You can just check out my channel, and if you're new and you like this video, go watch them and like and subscribe for future content like this. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Love ya.
Love you. Bye.
Love ya.